Hello, hell, haven't posted anything in a while, so I get so far behind in taking notes. I'm not behind in them, but transferring what I'm doing up to the website. I got a whole bunch of pages. So what I've been doing, we started with in this section, wherever we were at, I can't remember. It was in color and opacity. I know that much. Zero opacity is fully transparent. Uh, Opacity and color go hand in hand, so to speak. And color and opacity can be applied at the same time. I use keywords when I want to use a color. It makes it easier. Or if I get, here's the number here that I can plug in the RGB value. They talked about the RGB color and the HSL, the hue, lightness, and saturation, but their RGB is more popular. So that's where we started with that. Where are we here now? Yes. Going on with colors, CSS recognizes over 100 color keywords as acceptable colors. If you have Visual Studio Code, you can see colors just flying by that you can use. Color, I put another link up there for color and other generators. It's Mozilla, it's a generator list of things that you can, like, pick a color and it'll give you the values. They talked about hexadecimal. They use hexadecimal letters to represent RGB from 000 to 255 FF. There. I just had to take a drink of water. Needed it so badly. Example would be in longhand. You could put RRGGBB if you put the RGB in longhand. Or you can just put RGB as the color. The shorthand of it. Then we started CSS text. Letter spacing is used to specify the amount of space between letters. Normal is the most common, which is letting the default browser choose the default spacing or the length or the value. One cat is acting bad to another. Even I heard that. Letter spacing. You can have it M's or Rems. An example, if you're using letter spacing, 0.8 M, 0.6 Rem, or M's, whichever you want to use. Then text align, left, right, center, and justify. They showed how to insert it in the CSS. And you look in the HTML and you can see it in there. I'm currently working on an exercise where I'm changing all of the CSS in it. Justify is seen in text wrapping. It squares up with no ragged ends on the right side of the wrap over there. That's you have a word like car, and then all of a sudden, if you're using justify, it stops at C and then puts the AR over there with no markings or anything to it. The dash telling it that it's a C dash. None of that's there. It just cuts it off and moves on to the next one. So that doesn't seem like the most popular thing. It doesn't mean you can have a 10-word and you'll just bust it right in the middle of it. Text decoration. Properties used to add effects to the text, like none, which is default. Underline, overline, strike through or line through, and blank. You can see it blink as well. The syntax would be text decoration dash line colon. If you wanted a line, a color, any valid color, a style, solid, double, dotted, dashed, wavy. And I went through and looked at the Mozilla thing to check all these out, and they're all that Mozilla Developers Network. It has a lot of interesting information. I keep going back there whenever the link sends me there. The link at school says to go look at this Mozilla. I go in there and I read it. So it's nice to see that the school is keeping up with what's going on when I see the same thing there. Text decoration thickness can be the length, like 8 or 10 pixels, a percentage, like 10%, or a keyword, auto or from font. You can use the keyword. We haven't got to auto yet. He says he's going to talk about that more in the future. Outdenting and indenting. The first line of the block of text can be specified in number units or percentage of the width of the container block. Indent length like 3M, or you can say indent dash percentage 10%. You can do the same without dent, and you can use either percentages. If you're making an outdent, then it's minus 3M and minus 10%, if that's what you're giving them the value of. Indent length, it could be text indent colon text dash indent colon 5 rem or 5m em. Outdent, same thing. You just change it to negative. Then they talked about text shadow, the X offset and the Y offset, and blurring, and the color. You can make blurred shadows. X must always come before Y. They talked about, and like text shadow, .1 rem, .2 rem, .50 rem, whatever you want. And then the color red goes in the entire text shadow. The horizontal displacement first is X, and then the Y offset is vertical displacement. That was there were videos about every page and a half, 2 pages. There's a video that I watched from them. After so many sub-subjects, you want to call them. Text transform, the property is used to change the capitalization. Most common views are none, capitalize, undercase, and lowercase. Uppercase and lowercase, like all caps. And all lower space. White space property shows how white space is displayed. The most common values are normal, no wrap, pre-line, and pre-wrap. Each of them have descriptions of what they are and how they work, but you would have to find out about that yourself. I'm just telling you what I've been learning. So a lot of these things you either already know it or you're just now learning it, hearing it from me, like, oh no, somebody never said anything about blink. I saw that blink at Mozilla Developer Network. School didn't tell me that one. So I had to add that one to it that I found on the MDN. Blink. But not all browsers support it. That's why it was the last one in their description. Word break. The property specifies when you can have line breaks and when the text would overflow the content box. Just like normal or break all. Normal is the default line breaks at the end of words. If it's a big long word, they'll move it over and give it the gap of space that it would have fit on that line, and then whatever it is here, and moved it so it would be all one word. When you break all, that there's no BRs between any of the characters. There's no line breaks. There's no nothing. So it just keeps going. Normal is defined as the browser default, as they always are for everything. And then you can have a numerical value for word spacing, like 0.5 RAM, 0.03 RAM, whatever, 1 RAM, whatever number you want to put in there to have spacing in between the words. That's about it. For now, there's stuff that I don't cover because there's just notes everywhere. Trust me. I get the stuff that I have underlines is the one I'm stuck on. Okay. Thank you very much. I should start posting text more than I should these things, but this is easier when I'm like 3 or 4 days behind in posting. Then why don't I just say it all in this? So, got to work my way out of not doing this all the time. And I'm not getting paid anyway, so it really doesn't matter. This is just easier for me when I get swamped in notes. All right. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Someday, somebody might see this one day. You never know. All right. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.